please take advantage of that and watch the videos after the fact. To all of the rest of you, if you want to sign up, you still can. The link is in the chat right now. You need to list all of your preferred roles, summoner names, that sort of thing. These are all gold 5 or below. So this is for people who are low rated. What we're doing is we're trying to identify areas where they're playing poorly so that they can improve their gameplay and play better, essentially. So I'm going to be going over a whole bunch of things. Key areas we want to focus on is why team comps work well together, so you can sort of get an idea of what champions might work in a certain team comp. Lane mechanics such as CSing damage trades, positioning, map awareness, that sort of thing. Map control, warding, clearing, and knowing how you should cycle through the map to try and build the biggest advantage you can. And then also things like skirmishing, teamfight mechanics, and how to actually close out games. A big problem in lower elo is how they close out games. They'll have a big advantage. They'll be up 20 kills. Great, good for them. But if you don't use that advantage to actually win the game, it doesn't mean anything. Same with winning lane. A lot of people feel, okay, well, I won lane, I deserve to be so far ahead. No, that's actually not the case. You have to use that advantage to win the game. 1 second. Sorry, I have to change the screen display. That way we won't have a overlay when we're in spectator mode. Okay, so I'm going to leave this for a minute or so. You guys, feel free to ask any questions in Twitch chat. Once we get down to near the last pick, I will start commenting on their picks and bans. There's no point doing it right at the moment because it is going to take a few minutes while they get through all these. So if you have any questions for me here, I will try to answer them. So do that now. You had a question, but you forgot it. Okay. Well, everything died then. Just give me a second then. I will... Is there space for next match? We have about 80 people signed up. It depends on who actually shows up. What we're going to do, though, we are going to exclude these 10 players from playing in the next game. So there's a reasonably good chance that you'll be able to get into a match. We're going to do as many games as we can before my voice completely dies. Unfortunately, we did have some other spectators, but they're a little bit busy right now. But we will do our best to get everyone into games throughout the day. Yeah, if you're in a game you get skipped over. That was what happened with a few of these people, where they got skipped over and it messed up some of our matchmaking because people were in games, which, that's fine. They're doing something else. How many games can you estimate are going to be played today? I'm hoping to do 3 to 4. That will take approximately 4 hours to do all 4 games, and I only did 3 yesterday and my voice was dying, so I need to be a little bit careful about that throughout today. Again, I'm not going to comment on their champion picks until they're a little bit deeper in here and we can get an idea of why they're picking what they are. If you're in the workshop, how do you hear me? No. You would watch the recording after the fact. I want these teams to play as they normally would so that we can identify mistakes that they're making. Unfortunately, my co-casters don't seem to be online. They knew about the event. One of them is busy studying. Totally understandable. You got real-life obligations. One of them is helping his friend with ranked, and the other is not online. So hopefully they'll show up for the next game, but we'll see. These people are welcome to use chat if they would like. I don't have one specifically set up for them. I believe we were suggesting that they use Summoner Talk. That way they can just link to their game and everyone can join in. Arctic, do you have a good mic and Skype? If so, I can throw you in here, and just like if I miss a play top, you can just like let me know. That way you only focus on that lane, or other plays that you see. But if you have a bad mic, that's going to be distracting to people. Oh, never mind. Arctic's in the game. I'm dumb. Yeah, there's no point putting you in the cast for this game, but maybe next game, Arctic. Okay, so I'm going to start going over some of their picks and bans now, seeing as we are getting near the end. There is going to be a 3-minute delay after selection finishes, and that's so that they can get 3 minutes ahead of us in the actual game. So on blue team, they first picked a Janna. Janna is a very strong first pick because she goes in any team comp. She's great in poke comp, she's great in hard engage comp, she's just a very solid pick. It doesn't really reveal anything about what your team is trying to do, and yeah, so I like first picking the support, and I like the first pick support being something like Janna that just goes with anything. They then picked Fizz and Aurelia. Very dive based on those two. They then switched over Shyvana, Tristana. A little bit interesting in that Shyvana is a very strong early mid-game jungler, not so useful late game besides, okay, she's pretty tanky. Tristana, strong early game kill potential, very weak mid game, and then again very, very strong late game if played well. On the split side we have Ashe, Hecarim. Hecarim is a snowball jungler, has to get some early kills, and if he does, he becomes very, very beastly. If not, he remains useful, but he really does require that snowball to reach his full potential, I feel. Ashe, I mentioned actually earlier when we were doing viewer games, I love that people are playing Ashe again. Sacrificing a little bit of damage for a lot of utility is a really good choice. Especially, they're going to be able to Ashe initiate, Hecarim run through them, Fizz all, Aurelia dive the backline, Nami wave, that sort of stuff. I like their hard engage here. I also like their disengage potential with the Nami, Ashe. I think that's a pretty balanced team comp. On the split side, I believe Aaron played LeBlanc yesterday in the practice games. LeBlanc versus Fizz, very snowbally matchup. They either 100-0 each other or they don't fight each other. Both of them are very poor at CSing, just because Fizz, if he wants to farm fully effectively, he uses his only escape and a lot of his damage. Same with LeBlanc. If you want to actually wave clear and push up to tower so you can roam, that's a little bit difficult to do. So I'm interested to see how that double assassin sort of lane goes. Usually it boils down to who gets the first gank or who pulls off the first kill. It's going to be very snowbally. I'm interested to see how that goes. I do offer a little bit of sympathy for Aaron, though, because he was one of the first people selected, so he is one of the lower-ranked people on the team, and he's versus someone who's significantly higher rated, because we had to re-roll so many times. I apologize for that. That mostly boils down to just a lot of people didn't show up or weren't online and free for a game right at the moment. Hopefully we'll be able to fix that in future games, but we do what we can. I mentioned also Shen yesterday. I feel Shen is an overvalued pick. He's very strong in competitive play, but he loses most of his lanes and is very team reliant. It's also interesting that he would choose to go teleport. I like that to an extent. I like saying, okay, I'm confident that I can make plays for my team. I'm not confident I can win lane. So focus your gameplay towards where you're confident. I really like the idea behind it. We'll see how well it works out from the actual game itself. Oh, I also realized I just forgot to mention the bans entirely. Kassadin, very strong ban. Jarvan, I feel there are better bans than Jarvan now. The nerf actually hurt him quite a bit because he's far less reliable than he once was. It's a lot harder to land that flash flag toss alt combo that was just so dominant and snowballed so heavily. He's very solid jungler still. I'm not saying that he's weak by any means. He's going to remain very strong in solo queue, so good for them for taking that out. I just feel there possibly were better bans to use. Vayne, strong AD carry, snowballs heavily. Fine, I'm fine with that. Blitz and Thresh, I also mentioned yesterday in the practice games. You ban those if you don't trust your team to avoid the grabs. Again, not necessarily a dig at them for banning both, but I just feel that maybe not worth the 2 bans. What would I rather ban than J4? I try to ignore questions when I'm doing this, and I have Brian log them. It's difficult to say. I just feel, though, that Jarvan, maybe not quite worth the ban right now. Maybe like a Sivir. Sivir is an incredibly high win rate. Hecarim has been played in, I believe, every single one of the games we've done so far in the practice matches, and similar idea. Snowball jungler, very high utility, high damage. I'm not saying they should have banned Hecarim over this, but unless they maybe did a quick search and saw, oh, their team plays Jarvan, it just seems like an oddball ban. It doesn't really fit with the rest of why they're banning champions. Nasus, strong laner, very dominant. If he snowballs, I'm fine with banning him. I do it myself sometimes in solo queue. Okay, so we're getting into the game now. Again, I apologize for the delay and some of the mishaps we had with the matchmaking system. I expected there would be some issues, but yeah. What can we do? It's the first time we're doing this. While this is loading, I'm going to mention, if you are wanting to take part in some of these games, you can sign up on the actual sign-up thread and leave your preferred roles. I'm using that for the team builder program that I wrote. And yeah, we'll try and get you in some games. We'll fit as many people in as we can. I like how the music completely died right as we went into loading screen. It's a very basic program. It's just to keep track of who all entered and what roles they're willing to play. It then just picks them a random role from what they want and then tries to find someone similar-ish rating. Unfortunately, every time I roll, it gets less and less accurate because there's less people to pick from and it has to find the next lowest ranked player who wants to do that role. It also does not take into account role preferences as in like, I'd rather mid but I'll also top. You're just signed up for both roles if you say to. As Brian mentioned, I stream probably around 30 hours a week is a good estimate, sometimes more, sometimes less. We have quite a few scheduled streams. Today I streamed all day. We're going to be doing a reasonable portion of the evening as well for these matches. I'm streaming all day again tomorrow, depending on how good my voice is, and I do all day Wednesdays. We do some other bonus streams, but those are the main 3 ones where I'm streaming for multiple hours at a time. I'm going to give this a second while everyone loads into game, and then we'll comment on their first buys. If I notice them running Strange Runes, I'll comment on it, as well as their positioning when they start the game. Okay, so everyone has their starting items now. Janna. Yes, I am matching up the lane. I apologize. I always forget to do that. There we go. So I have top, mid, AD carry, support, and jungle all lined up. No one's invading. They're all guarding their buffs very well. I like that. I might have suggested Janna should be in this top bush. Or she could use she could use her Explorer Ward to try and catch them out. I'm fine with them doing that, but they could sneak in here, loop around, and collapse on them and get a free kill or summoner skills. That's going to change in next season, though, so don't worry about it too much. It's just at the moment, it's always worth dropping that early ward to watch for invades. As far as starting build, Aurelia went Null Magic. That is versus a Shen. I do not like that. I would have gone Doran's Shield. Running a Doran's Shield, you're going to have a lot of health sustain, and you're going to heal a lot every time he auto-attacks you. Oh, blue team actually snuck in here. I didn't notice that. They managed to get past Aurelia. I would have suggested Aurelia guard this bush, because you can guard both paths. The only time you will not see them invade is if they go all the way past doubles. So they're going to get that red without being spotted out. Shen's going to be... Oh, actually Shen is going to be spotted out, because he's going to walk all the way through here, right back into her vision. I don't think they're going to notice it, but just worth mentioning. Yeah, I don't like that Null Magic start. She's giving up a lot of stats for it. Yes, Shen does magic damage, but a lot of it relies on being able to auto-attack you. So I would go for the health sustain and the reduced damage from auto-attacks. On the split side, Shen went boots and a ward. It's okay. I personally would suggest he have gone like Rejuve Bead, a lot of potions. But he seems to be doing well in this lane, so I have no real complaints as far as his positioning at the moment. He's harassing properly, not an issue. We'll check back on that later. As I mentioned before, I am not a top lane player, so I apologize if I miss out on some misplays there. Mid, I would expect LeBlanc to be playing a lot more aggressively here. She needs to be queuing him every single time it's off cooldown. Q, auto-attack, auto-attack, Q, auto-attack, auto-attack, over and over and over. Need to get Fizz poked out of the lane. As far as their starting builds, she went full potions. I don't know if I'd agree with that. I would say start Flask. There you go, there's your Q. I also would have Maybe she leveled that really quickly, but I would have done W at level 2. It would have probably given her a kill if she played it properly. On the split side, Fizz is running utility masteries. I haven't seen Fizzes do that, and I'm not a big fan of it. Oh, Shyvana's actually giving her level 3 blue buff. Interesting. So that's going to give her a huge advantage. What we need to watch for here, though, if Hecarim is paying attention, he'll notice, okay, mid laner has a blue buff, and she's incredibly squishy. They then need to find a way to get that blue buff off of her. That not only shuts down the LeBlanc, gets you a kill, it gets blue buff onto your team. That is a fantastic strength to have. Yeah, I don't understand why Fizz is running utility masteries. It's possible his settings didn't change. If I were him, I would probably be running 2190, just for the little bit of extra magic resist armor, that sort of thing. Oh, exactly what I said should happen. Hecarim needs to get in there and needs to gank. He's now caught out between turret. I would suggest Hecarim cut off this way, Fizz cut off this way. They didn't chase that in, and Shyvana didn't counter gank, but she responded. So good awareness on their part. Shyvana looks to be heading top lane right now for an early gank. They haven't spotted it, but I would have waited. I'm hoping they'll get this. I think they should be able to. That's wasted Ghost. Who used the Ghost, actually? Okay, so that was Shyvana Ghost. If they were going to do that, make Shen taunt first and then Ghost in with Shyvana. Don't let yourself get spotted out like that. She could have... Wait for her to auto-attack a minion and then jump right in. The reason I didn't focus bot lane is because there was so much else happening at the time. Nami, Ashe have very strong kill potential. They are oh, nice bubble, actually. I didn't expect that to hit him initially. Yeah, swap back onto the Janna. Perfect. They need to be playing aggressively here. Nami, by going Fairy Charm, she gave up a lot of potions. She's burned through every single one of her potions and is now low mana. I feel if she did not buy Fairy Charm and instead bought a couple extra health potions, couple extra mana potions, she could play far more aggressively. And by doing that, would have been able to probably line up an early kill. I also don't like that they didn't chase that in. She still had one charge of her slow and bonus damage. Getting that onto Janna would have set up a very easy kill for Ashe. It would have taken about an auto-attack volley, maybe 2 auto-attacks after that. Worst case scenario, you've just pushed them out of lane. I don't like that bubble. Touch on skill shots because that's something you pick up over time. But in general, on Nami, you want to land your slow first and follow it up with a bubble as they're retreating. Because if they're retreating, you already know where they need to be running to. If they're stopping to auto-attack, they can run towards you. They can stay exactly where they are, or they can retreat or dodge to the side. There's so many options of where they can reposition to that it's very difficult to land that bubble. Back mid lane, comparing CS, LeBlanc is a little bit ahead in CS like she should be. Very nice job on Fizz to dodge that burst, jump back in, and land all of his combo. I believe... no. That was too aggressive on his part. Fizz should have been able to get that. I believe the issue was he didn't reset his auto-attack animation and didn't trust himself to choose the right clone. I can understand that doubt, but if you have that doubt, run. Don't try and wait for her cooldowns to come back and then dive the turret. That was just hesitation on his part that not only lost him a kill, but also got himself killed and gave LeBlanc first blood. LeBlanc should have cleared this wave. It would have given her a good experience advantage. She has the mana to clear it. All she needed to do was W into the middle of it, maybe auto-attack once or twice, clear it out, push it to turret. That then causes these minions to die to turret, and it would reset the lane while she comes back. Not the end of the world, but I feel it could have been done better. Good job ganking there with Hecarim. They needed to play more aggressive with the Nami and Ashe, though. They needed to set up some sort of CC so that he could get in range. It's highly likely that that is warded, or you have to expect that it's warded at this stage of the game. So, at that point, I would suggest... Oh, why are you going in alone? Your team left you. Okay, Shen's ulting, they need to back out. Yeah. As soon as you see the Shen ult, you have to calculate. Can we instant burst them? No, we cannot. We don't have our ults. We don't have a lot of health to fight. You're not going to burst them, so run. Don't stay there. They did get out, so that's fine. Hecarim was just... I feel he should have backed out. Fizz needs to react to this. He needs to show up and try and land and engage in tandem with Hecarim. Hecarim knows they're there. Bot lane should also maybe respond. And they need to go in as a team to... No, don't jump over that wall. You need to go around. That's also given LeBlanc time enough to come in, and now they have Fizz pincered. I'm surprised they're playing so passively here. That's unfortunate that that bubble missed both. Oh, I expected LeBlanc to be able to get that, actually. Okay, so they got the kill on Shyvana. Good for them. I feel that was just, again, they're not trusting themselves to get these. They're doubting their kill potential, and I just think if they went in as a team, either side would have been able to win that if they just coordinated a little bit better with their CC, with their damage. Not the end of the world. As far as bot lane here, they're essentially dead even in farm. Tristana has 1 assist, Ashe is a little bit ahead in experience, so they're going to be essentially dead even. I actually like the somewhat defensive start on Ashe here. Double Dorans into a longsword. She's going to have a lot of flat health to deal with the LeBlanc ganks. And she's going to have still some decent life, still some decent damage to return. I like that choice by her. I'm not sure I agree with Bilgewater Cutlass on Tristana. Blade of the Ruined King is not a bad option on Tristana. It's a I am behind, I need to make it to late game option. He wasn't behind, he might be now though. He's going to have a little bit of difficulty with that. My reasoning being, you build Blade of the Ruined King if you are going to be a short-range dueling champion and need an escape. Or need an escape. Tristana, he needs to scale up for late game. He needs to scale up for late game with hyper range and just poke in constantly. So Blade of the Ruined King is going to serve him well early and mid game when he's trying to escape from ganks, when he's trying to jump on a target. But come 20-30 minutes, you're not going to be in range to use it. And if you are, just rocket jump away. Use your ult to get away. You have so many disengage forms already. Buying it just because, okay, I can sustain in lane and then I can disengage from when I'm ganked, I think that's a little bit of a waste. Okay, blue team, blue buff is up. I'm assuming, yeah, it's going to go over to LeBlanc, no question. Neither team is particularly counter-jungling or warding each other's buffs. Purple team actually did drop a ward here because Shyvana was trying to get in here. On Shyvana, you're pretty much exclusively a counter-jungler. You need to get some wards in here, and you need to be able to time your buffs properly. So I don't know if they are timing any of these, but they need to be able to set up either free steals on buffs and minion camps, or free kills when their jungler's caught out. Nice flash bubble. I would be using... No, he doesn't have an ult. That's grayed out completely. That means she hasn't leveled it even though she's level 6. It's possible it was a misclick. If she had ult there, or if Ashe used her ult, either one of those two things would have gotten the kill. I don't know why Ashe didn't ult. That's actually rather poor. Hecarim's on his way down. Hopefully Ashe will ult here. That was overkill. But now they need to swap back to cut off these two, kill them with Fizz, and then do Dragon. That would be the ideal path. The reason I said that was overkill, Nami Bubble lasts, I believe, 1.5 seconds. Ashe ulted the instant it hit. So that's overlapped CC and more CC than you require to actually get the kill. If you are going to use both, that's perfectly fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't have ulted. I'm saying that you should have waited until it was closer to wearing off. They don't have Merc Treads on their bot lane, so why are you ulting the second that it lands? That's essentially wasting most of that CC. Not the end of the world. Both junglers mid. No one getting a kill. LeBlanc Ignite down. Fizz actually doesn't have blue. It's gone over to Hecarim. Hecarim is pretty mana hungry, so I'm okay with that. But Fizz has no mana regen, and he needs to get his roam on. He needs to start getting some kills. He is a little ahead in CS, but LeBlanc has 2 kills, he has 2 kills. So he's not significantly ahead, not to the point where it makes an actual noticeable difference. Top lane here, I'm just going to check in on their items. Aurelia has her Sheen. She still just has an all magic, and that's interesting. Shen went Sheen. Usually on Shen you would do something like Sunfire. You would do something... Trinity Force Shen, it's fine, but it's not that amazing. It's a dueling build. I'm interested to see if that's the sort of setup he goes for here. He's definitely positioning well here. That great job, and they're going to get that kill. Yep. Very good job noticing that LeBlanc was coming, baiting Aurelia into a fight so that she was a little bit low, and then as soon as she starts to run, taunt her long enough for LeBlanc to get in range for that kill. Good coordination on their part. I also like that Fizz is pushing down the tower as fast as he can. If he did not have an opportunity to roam during that, debatably he could have gone bot lane. But he needs to get some sort of advantage knowing that LeBlanc is roaming. I don't agree with dodging the first one there. It worked, but they were just sort of dancing around each other. He should have been auto-attacking during that time and trusting his instincts to be able to... We'll wait here. Good Shen ult. Again, map awareness, keeping an eye on how low health your team has and what situation they're in. Knowing that even though Tristana was really low health, the ult would still be enough to save him. Aurelia was too manly top lane, yes. But it was a good job catching her out on that. Okay, bot lane CS here. Ashe is still ahead in CS. She has now translated into a little bit of sustain, boots. Nothing fancy yet, obviously. She should get out of that. That's not an issue. It's highly, highly unlikely she's going to die. Yeah, perfectly safe. This LeBlanc is doing some work. I'm impressed. Do you not have Q? Her cooldown should be up there. I feel she should have been able to sidestep the E. Okay, teleport down from Shen. So purple team needs to let their team know that that cooldown is used. Again, I can't view chat, so it's possible. Is this the same? Yeah, this is the same Tristana yesterday. They fell behind, so they decided to build Avarice Blade. Avarice Blade is not a way to keep yourself in the game. I mentioned this to him yesterday in chat. He's still doing it. He's falling behind a little bit in CS, so he's saying, oh, I'll build Avarice Blade, that'll make the difference. No, you need to find a way to output enough damage that you can bully people, and so that he's missing CS. I'm not saying that he needs more AD to be able to CS. He needs... Yeah, he's just auto-attacking. He's not last hitting. Like, you need to be stuttering in and out of range. You need to be hitting when they're within range. See, he's missed every single CS this wave. That is something he needs to work on. Go into a custom game, buy only your starting items, use your normal runes, masteries, no skills, and try and get as close to perfect CS as you can. I actually do that myself. Every time I'm playing a champion that I haven't played in a long time, or don't play well, I practice it in a custom game. I strongly dislike this item build he's going for, and yeah, it's not a way to get back into the game. Again, they overlap their CC. Nami and Ashe ulted at the exact same instant. Not worth it. It's worth it in that they got both kills, but it's not worth it because you're overlapping so much CC. There is no reason to. It's like saying, I'm gonna flash auto attack. Well, if you just stutter stepped, you wouldn't have to flash, and you'd have that cooldown in case they ganked you. It is a free dragon now, yes. They need to have the confidence to take this, and Nami should be pink warding it. She doesn't seem to have any pink wards. She's gone double gold pretend before Sightstone. A number of you have criticized me for focusing so much on support itemization, which is going to change so heavily, but right now, always, always Sightstone first. It gives more gold pretend than gold pretend items does, and it gives you defensive stats. So yeah, I don't like her choice to do that. They're winning lane though, so that's up to them. Back in this top lane, Aurelia keeps pushing. You guys mentioned that she was a little bit too overextended, a little bit too manly, and that's what set up the original Shen LeBlanc kill on her. That was totally true. The problem is, though, Aurelia's pushing the lane. If she's going to push lane, that's fine, but she then needs to do something with that. She's not going to be able to get a kill on Shen here. She can't dive him. So What are you doing now? You've cleared this wave. Take double golems. The next wave is not going to be here for a while, and you cannot harass or kill him under the tower. He will taunt you if you try. So, why are you still here? Clear the wave, rush, do doubles, buy an item. That way you have item advantage, you have gold advantage, you have CS advantage, or experience advantage. So yeah, not worth it. And yes, I mentioned double gold per 10. Cage's pick, Philosopher's Stone. You don't need both items, and you never build them first. Sightstone gives more effective gold per 10 from the wards you're using than either of those items. And it gives you the defensive stats and gives you map vision, map control, map vision. No, Sightstone has replaced gold per 10. That's going to change next season, so again, try not to focus too much on the itemization, but in the context of this game, that is a significant misplay, I feel. They're winning lane, they're dominating lane actually, so I cannot hold it against them. But either way, I feel that could be done better. Fizz is now coming top. Aurelia is still pushed. They don't know if this is awarded or not because it's not pinked. They're going to get the kill, or they... Really? Okay, he ganked with no ult. On Fizz, don't bother ganking if you don't have ult. It's a relatively low cooldown. It would have been up in about 15 seconds. Clear one more wave of farm, and then do that exact same gank with your ult. If you had the ult there, you would have got a kill. Alright, good gank by Hecarim. They're going to get that. I'm a little bit concerned, though. They're not giving their bot lane any kills, really. Nami is 006, and Ashe is 105. Obviously, they're very, very far ahead, but you're not giving your carries any kills. I mentioned earlier, Hecarim is a greedy jungler, and Fizz is a very snowball champion, so I'm fine with him getting 1 or 2 kills, but taking every single kill is a bit much. They should be able to turn and fight that. Yeah, you have 3 people here. I expect Fizz to go over there. Perfect. And I expect him to get that kill with his dot. Perfect. Yep. Good job by everyone there. At this point they have 3 top. I would have dropped a ward on their blue buff so you can see LeBlanc approaching. Because at this point, as top lane, you're going to be pushing. You're going to be trying to set up some plays. So if I was in this position of Aurelia, where I'm going to be pushing so far, my tower is down on the enemy team, drop a ward on their blue buff so you can see them approaching from this direction, you can see them going up through river, and you can see the blue buff itself. I would then have a ward in this sort of area so you can see them entering your jungle, and then the only possible entrance left is these jungle paths here. And you can definitely drop another ward up in here. But those 2 wards would offer so much pressure as far as being able to effectively push and jump into those fights. At this point, there is relatively few wards on the map. The only wards here are essentially mirrored wards between blue and purple team. They have dragon warded, they have these bush warded. That's great, good for them. Top laners, though, they need to have wards down. Mid laners, they need to have wards down. I'm very confident they're going to win this fight. Even with Shyvana there, I feel, yeah, they're going to get that kill. Nami's going to land the bubble, and then I feel they can actually still turn this around and get another. Does Nami have heal? There's a heal. Perfect. And they're going to get both of these. Because now Hecarim's here. They got that kill, and they should be able to get the Janna kill. Oh, Fizz is here. Of course they're going to get the Janna kill. I naturally see Fizz approaching. So good communication on their part. Dragon is in 120. If I were them, I would drop a pink ward there so you know it's cleared. I would then take blue, and then I would shove up middle. You're not going to get anything middle, but you're going to provide a lot of map pressure, and you can then cycle through their blue and gank top. That's the route I would personally take. That can be argued either way, but that is what path I would suggest doing. Take blue, push mid, cycle through their jungle and gank top. Because you have so much health still, and you have a very strong grouped team. Shen has decided to go for his Sunfire Cape now rather than completing Triforce. I really, really like that choice by him. Obviously, Aurelia does a little bit of true damage, a little bit of mixed everything. But that armor is going to be so useful. The health is going to be incredibly powerful. It gives him more damage. Very strong pickup by him. Hecarim's now coming around. His tower is down. He's low health. He's shoved. Why do you not have wards? If you're going to do that, make sure you ward, and make sure you keep an eye on where their jungler and other lanes are at. He's trying to teleport out. He's not going to make it. Like, there's no way. Back to bot lane here. I'm just going to compare their stats again. Ashe is continuing to pull ahead in both CS and kills. As I mentioned earlier, Tristana. Tristana is building to lose. Again, I'm not saying that the build is why he's losing. I'm saying that the build you're doing is to try and keep yourself from losing, but it's only setting you further and further behind. You need to build items so that if a fight goes in your favor, you're going to be able to put out enough damage. And right now you're building to try and lower the gold disadvantage, and that's not going to win you a team fight. Oh, nice job by Fizz. It was actually ballsy by him. The reason that was so ballsy is they have no wards here. They didn't know he was backing right at that position, and if he wasn't, then Fizz would have taken extra tower shots and possibly died, depending on how Tristana played it. So, good job by Fizz. Again, I would not have backed there as Tristana. You know their team has a lot of assassins and dive potential, and you know you're incredibly low health. Keep running. Just get out of that lane. Nami ult, I would suggest launch it across turret. But other than that, good job. Good Hecarim ult. They have 4 people here. Shove down the turret. Don't chase these kills. Ashe can zone them. Take the turret. Go do dragon. Take the global gold. I want them to go do dragon right this instant. I think they're going to. Ashe is cleaning up. Good for her. Fizz is going to go back mid, clear that farm, push up to mid tower. The rest of them need to go take dragon. Ashe is taking this on the way. I wouldn't recommend that because it's going to slow you down your dragon, but there's no one to stop you, so it doesn't really harm anything. I also like that they have a pink ward down here, even though they know that their team isn't going to be able to respond. Actually, look at their entire warding. Pink ward, green ward, green ward, green ward, green ward. Perfect ward coverage. That is exactly how you light up their jungle. This is the ideal wards, actually, for their jungle. That covers every access point. Every piece of vision you need to get is covered. So great job. I'm not sure if that was all Nami or if other people helped, but fantastic. Fizz is now... Oh, no, he's not gonna. I was thinking they were gonna kill Shen. His ult is up. I don't know why he wouldn't. I guess he decided to just join a teamfight instead. I feel that arrow was a little bit wasted. Landing that arrow, best case scenario, you're too low health to go in because your tanks aren't here. Fizz also, you probably not going to have enough damage to one-shot. So yeah, I think that was a little bit too much aggression on their part, but not a big deal. I just want to save the ult for disengage. Janna is way too far forward. I get that your team was here, Janna, but moving into that position, you're going to take a lot of free damage. Janna is all about zone control and disengage. By zone control, I mean you drop your tornado in a certain direction so that if they walk in that position, you have a plan. You have a disengage, a knock up, an engage, whatever, ready for them. Oh, perfect 3-person taunt. I don't... I would have expected them to be able to pick that up with a 3-person taunt. I don't like Tristana jumping onto the middle of them. They were not CC'd at that point, and you don't have much damage on your Tristana. That being said, he did build Blade the Ruin King, and I said he's going to have to get in low range and duel them, essentially, and that's what he did in there. So it did fit with his item build. I just don't think it fits with the champion very well. It's not very efficient from his ideal play style. Fizz should be able to pick that up. He should... You're full mana, Fizz. Why would you not jump over that wall? Shen ult down. Again, they need to keep in mind that timer. Ashe ult coming in. Nope, missed. Good ignite. Good ignite. That was very good on his part, knowing that would be enough to kill. E was on cooldown, but he should have been able to keep chasing because it should not take very long for it to come up. Back to builds here. I'm mostly going to comment them at the end of the game, though. Landry's on Fizz. No. No. Landry's is a great damage over time, consistent sort of poke item. You don't do that on Fizz. It's percentage current health damage. Your initial burst is going to get them so low that the dot from Landry's is going to do essentially nothing. So if I were him, I would be getting Hourglass, and then I would be getting probably, well, your Lich Bane's done, Hourglass. Soul Stealer's debatable, I don't like it on him. Probably a cooldown item. The cooldown item you go with, personal preference, I would probably say Athene's, because it's going to keep you surviving LeBlanc Burst, but it could also be any cooldown item. But you need a cooldown item and a Hourglass. Those are pretty much core on Fizz, so that he can Hourglass, have all his cooldowns back up by the time it ends. Back over to Shen, he's finished his Triforce now, as has Aurelia. Aurelia's building armor. I'm assuming she's building a Sunfire Cape here. I could be wrong on that. Again, don't play top lane that much, so someone can comment on that. I'm not sure how good Sunfire Cape is on Aurelia, though. Ooh, good arrow. Yeah, I'm okay with that engage. And this Fizz, yes, Fizz is snowballing very, very heavily at this point. This game was very even, but they're pushing their advantage as well. They now need to use it to close out the game. Take this tower. Like, Shen's here, and I'm fine with one or two of you chasing him. Probably Aurelia. Ashe, I would suggest, stays and finishes turret. Their blue buff is up. I would like for them to take that, but it's not the most important thing ever. No one on the enemy team is hyper blue reliant. It's not like they're versus a Nivea or a Lux or something like that that really, really wants it. But taking it away from them would be a very strong advantage for them. At this point, they have time to take this turret. They're faltering, though. They're swapping over. Maybe they'll do the blue buff and clear top lane. It's not that they had to take mid, but they needed to do something with that advantage, and they chose to take blue buff, and I feel Aurelia should be running straight top to clear that farm. But they're going to get a lot of farm from that, and they're going to get a blue buff from that, so that's a fine trade. Back to items here. He's gone Static Shiv. No. Static Shiv is a fine item, but it is on burst AD carries. So someone like a Graves, Last Whisper, Bloodthirster, and Static Shiv are pretty much core on him, because you jump in and you get essentially one combo off. Tristana, on the other hand, should be played almost like Kog'Maw, where you stand at the very back line and poke away. You have a lot of repositions, a lot of escapes, and I feel Tristana is best played as sort of max range. Always stay at max range, kite, stutter step, get the damage on them, and shred their front line. You're essentially a long-range tank killer. You get your Last Whisper, you get Infinity Edge, and then you use your gigantic attack speed steroid to shred whoever comes at you. Good engage. Blue team was just overextended here. You don't have all 5, you are weaker than them, and you're really far up with all of their team alive. So I feel that was just a bit too cocky on their part. Still gonna die. Yeah. They need to now... As much as I love taking dragons, take the inhib. Turret, inhib, then take dragon. You could even swap bottom after, but probably it'd be safest to take turret, inhib, and then do dragon. Because you're going to have so much gold from that first team fight and the dragon, turret, and inhibitor that, yeah, go for it. LeBlanc has very poor wave clear. She has to jump into melee range with her W. It's her only escape. It seems a little early to... No, I guess it's not. It's 30 minutes. Yeah. This is a good Baron choice. They do not have pink wards. And they don't have an oh, they do have oracles. Good, good, good. They're stalling, though. Start it. Like, as much as I say clear wards, that's so that they don't smite steal it. That doesn't mean you sit around waiting for wards to be cleared. If there is a ward, they're already on their way, so you have to be able to finish it in time. They're not going to be able to react, it looks like. Or, yeah, if they just pinged it now, that's a really slow reaction by them. They need to be paying attention to the map. They were standing on wards. They should have been reacting as soon as their team showed up there. But, free Baron for purple team. I hope they'll now use that to close out this game. They just got to pick onto Janna, it looks like. Fizz should be able to clean that up. Unless... No, they should be able to clean that entirely. Yep. They need to end game right now. There's no point in doing anything but just running straight through their base and ending the game. I can't think of another reason to build Shiv on Trist. It's a bad item on Trist. I said that in his game yesterday, and it seems he hasn't changed his mind. If that's the style of play you want to do on Tristana, and it works for you, that's fine. I just feel it's setting yourself up in a way that you're not going to be able to win a team fight. They have 20 seconds till Shen is up, and yeah, they should just end this game right now. Auto-attack it with your Lich Bane. Perfect. Yep. Good game. Very good job by their team. I really like the cycling purple team they did there with their advantage. I'm now just going to go over the final item builds here. I know I didn't talk about that much during the game itself. The reason being is that... Steven's online. Okay, perfect. We have my friend to help shoutcast. Alright, I'm going to go over builds real quickly. We've beat the dead horse as far as builds for Tristana here. Static Shiv, I do not like on Tristana. Blade of the Ruined King, I only like on Tristana if you're really far behind. He built it before he was behind. So, it's not a way to get back into the game if you're already even. I would have gone... There's so many build options on Tristana. You could have gone straight for Infinity Edge, you could have gone Bloodthirster. It's a low-range dueling item, and you cannot afford to jump into the middle of their team. So I don't like that build on him. Furor, it's a fine build. I might have suggested Home Guard when you're that far behind, though, but that's fine, whatever. Shyvana here, I have no complaints with her build. Wit's End is a very strong dueling item, and she was doing a little bit of dueling. It's fine. Jenna, she built Sightstone, Boots of Lucidity. Yeah, that's what you build as a support. Good for her. Right now, again, that itemization is going to change heavily, so whatever. Shen, Trinity Force, Sunfire Cape, Merc Treads, Home Guards, Ruby Crystal. That's all pretty standard on his part. LeBlanc, again, pretty much standard. I might have suggested trying to finish Hourglass first. Because you're putting in extra cooldown reduction here. I'm fine with the extra cooldown reduction, but you're running Boots 5 as well, Source Boots. You need the Magic Pen. I would have swapped Mobility Boots for Source, and I would have not built Fiendish Codex. I would have built early game, whatchamacallit, Hunting Eyes. I mentioned that to you yesterday as well, I believe. So, yeah, that's fine. Ashe, Static Shiv, Infinity Edge, all very, very standard on Ashe. She did very, very well. Good for her. Aurelia, Trinity Force, Sunfire Cape, Merc Treads, no complaints there. Pretty standard. I mentioned during the game Fizz, no reason to build Liandry's. You're a burst mage. Why are you trying to do percentage current health damage when you've already bursted them down? I feel that was a waste of gold. You could have used that to finish your Hourglass. You could have used it to get Void Staff. You could have used it to work on Death Cap. Soul Stealer is not gold efficient until 7 stacks. You have a ton of kills here, so I'm sure it worked out for you. So good for you, good for you. But it is a very risky build. In a solo queue game, I probably would not build it. At least not until you had Hourglass and had more safety. But personal choice. That's up to you. My main complaint there is Liandry's. Not a reason to build it. Hecarim, very high damage focused build. He was snowballing heavily, and he used that gold to build more damage. I'm fine with that. I might have suggested finishing Iceborne Gauntlet rather than Sheen, just so you have a little bit more CC, tankiness, and cooldown reduction. Because Sunfire Cape, you have to be in range of them for a very long period of time for that to be worth it. Whereas the Gauntlet would keep them in range for your team to catch up and do their burst damage, because you have so much damage on this team. It's fine. I just feel that could have been a little bit better min-maxed. Nami, I mentioned during the game, she rushed a lot of gold per 10 items. She built Philosopher's Stone and Cage's Pick before ever building a Sight Stone. I disliked that, but they were winning so heavily it did not matter. So that may have just been a choice for her because they were so far ahead they wanted to snowball a little bit heavier, but that's fine. I also do prefer Boots of Lucidity over Boots 5 on Nami. My reason being more bubbles, more alts. It's not like a Leona who has to rush into range, land an alt, and pull yourself to them. Nami is very much backline, disengage, poke. She's a very mix of sort of strategies, so that's fine. That essentially wraps up that game. We're going to do another game now. We are going to exclude these 10 players, so we're going to get more people in here. I'm going to be picking